In my opinion, this is one of the most slept on matchups this season. Clippers versus Boston. Because if healthy, now I'm not guaranteeing it because we know the Clippers in the history and Kawhi's injury and his knees and whatnot, that they may not be healthy by the end of the season. But if they're both healthy, this could be a finals matchup. And they didn't even want to nationally televise these games. But I'll take a look at them, and we're going to take a look at them today. But today we're going to look at Jaylen Brown and how he makes scoring look so easy and how he's able to do all those things. But before we get to that, make sure you subscribe, like, turn on the notifications, hitting highlight videos posted daily. Every day, we ain't missing no days. So make sure you subscribe and got those notifications turned on. Let's get straight to it. This ain't about Jaylen Brown though, but I hate this. I just hate this. When players go and set the screen, they just end up pushing the player. Like, what's the point? You know, this is one of the calls refs always look for in ball screens, all these actions. They always look for moving screens. So why push them? And it's not even like it was something subtle or a gentle nudge. Like, he just straight out extended all his arms. Every time he get called for a foul, I don't see why people do it. It's goofy. Now, one thing Jaylen Brown does great, is he runs off his screens tight. He's not super great at setting them up, but he's going to run off his screens tight. And notice how there's little space for Kawhi to even try to fit up here and jam him up and stay between Jaylen Brown and the rim. So by coming off tight, he's able to get these angles to get downhill to the rim and put pressure on Zubac in this case, who's playing this drop. And now he's going to be late to Horford on this close because his angle was tight. Kawhi is in the trailing position. He needs to be able to help before he's able to get back. Horford missed, but you can learn a lot from misses. Same thing here. Look how tight he came off that screen. Look how tight he came off the screen. But it's also a two-man job. Or Horford, the screener, or Horford in this case, got to be in the right spot, and then you've got to run off right at the right spot and at the right time, so they don't get a moving screen. The only thing I'll say about this on this play, I'm gonna let it play out though. It's not really that's not a bad shot at all. He feels he can make it, take it. For sure, take it. But I would only say, if you know you're going to get into the screening action, start a little higher. Because you know that Zubac is in that drop. By Zubac being in that drop, you have more space to be able to come off that screen and get that shot from three. But now, because he's coming more lateral, and he doesn't have too much space to be able to step into a shot, it's a little harder for him to be able to get to where he wants to. He can really score. So he's gonna kind of get here, and he doesn't the footwork he's used to put it to be able to get that shot. He can't do it. He doesn't have enough space. And at the end of the day, you can never say an NBA player really takes a bad shot. It's really just they could get a better shot. Because most of these guys are really good. But oh, let me run this back right quick. JB sideline. Now by running your lane in the corners, the big thing about this, running your lane in the corners, is that what's usually going to happen is the defenders are going to run back, get on defense, but they're never going to get all the way to the baseline if they're guarding the player in the corner. If they're guarding the player in the corner, they're going to always leave some room behind them and be able to still see the ball. They're never going to drop all the way back, so they keep everything in front of them. So what Jaylen Brown does here, he does a great job of. Paul George doesn't slide all the way down. Jaylen Brown beats him further down than PG gets. And so now PG is only looking at the ball. But only looking at the ball, Jaylen Brown's able to cut. Marcus Smart sells eyes. By the time PG realizes that Jaylen Brown's behind him, ball's already right there. Jaylen Brown gets an easy dunk. Spins. Not Jaylen Brown, but that's a winning play right there. Now, I hate to see this, but watch how fast he gets up. You see all these players fall down and they want to look at the stars and everything, like they sun gazing or whatever. But like, you got to go play defense. I don't know why you want to get up, take so long to get up and jog back on the underside, start to look cute and whatnot. And just run like your knees hurt and all this stuff. Just start jogging. Like, why? What are you doing? Get back on defense. Get back on defense. You want to win? If you want to win, now I'm not telling you to do a whole somersault and get back up, or do like a what's it called, Shawn Michaels kick up, whatever it is. But Get up quick.
Brown.
Damn.
Switch.
JB was 0 for 8 from 3. He was still shooting that bill. That's called trusting the work. Hold on. Do I need to say it? Do I need to say it? You already see it. Do I need to say it?
Brown will stop and go.
Good pace though. Great pace though. If they're gonna allow it, great pace. Great pace. At the end of the day, that's great pace. Slow down, dribbles, goes quick into that crossover, gets into space, pull up. That's a great double team. Now, what allowed this double team to work, though, a lot of players get double teams messed up. And it's not the player coming over the double, it's the player that's already on the ball that usually messes up on these double teams. So Jaylen Brown comes over, right? Notice White's position. Instead of still staying squared up, he almost shuffled. He's over a little bit to where his back is towards the baseline. So now he's taking away the baseline. Brown is taking away the middle. And so now it's literally a trap. They're trapping him like this. So anywhere he tries to go backwards, tries to go right, tries to go left, they're going to be able to cut all that off. And the gap between them is also tight. So PG can't fit through that little gap right there too. Notice, tries to spin back right. White stays right there. Make sure he cuts off PG's drive going baseline. Now late shot clock, force a bad shot. It's a great stop. Out on the Clippers. That in and out is one of the best moves to use in transition, because a player's jogging back, going backwards, the lateral, or whatever it is. They hit him with a quick move. You thinking about the shift? Boom! They can't even catch themselves. It's too late. Opened up a whole gap.
Really owned his line, going right to the basket.
Same thing with that backdoor as last time, running in transition, getting to the spot. Same thing as last time. But he uses a little change of pace now, though. He's running his lane, kind of skips up like he's going to go for a handoff, and Smart sells us a little bit too. Look how he's looking over a little bit too. Sells it like he's going for a handoff. That's all Jaylen Brown needs to be able to get that back door. Boom. Sprints right out of it.
Let's finish over 2, not 3. Powell, as usual, a nice job off the bench. He's got 11.
Almost knocked it down, but what can make it even easier, though, when he's shooting these fades, watch his footwork. Now, when you want to shoot fades from the post or whatever dribble pull-ups, you want to try to get your feet as square to the rim before you go up and get into your shot. Because that way, you don't have to do so much turning and finding and balancing while you're in the air. You kind of already did your work before you leave the ground. And so right now, Jaylen Brown's feet is faced towards the baseline. Face towards the baseline, now he has to turn a whole 90 degrees just to face the rim. And his shoulders are not as squared as possible, but they could be even more squared if his feet are squared too. So it's just doing your work early before you get up into your shot.
He's got 11.
Almost knocked it down though, but it's just to help make those post fades a little easier.
Wide open shot, Horford sticks it. Now Tatum will get open because of it. 2 for 3 shooting threes. Horford is. He's got 8 points overall.
New matchup, got the switch throughout the play. Can't forget the game plan, can't forget the schemes. You got to remember that if you're going to be switching everything, you got to be switching everything. And if he didn't forget it, and if Horford just didn't communicate, then that's on Horford. Either way, you got to fix one of those two.
Clippers. We're trying to get our pace back, but it's definitely the Clippers that own the pace in this third quarter.
Tough bucket by Kawhi, but a lot of coaches always want to preach no middle, never let a player get middle. But at times like this, it may be better to not force the defender middle, or force the offensive player baseline and actually force a middle. Because look at the amount of help that you have going middle. You have Smart, Horford, you have Tatum. 3 levels of help, right? And so even if Smart does come over and help get out of rotation, you got Horford coming over, Tatum coming over, and then they could X-rotate however they want to, and they end up filling back. But say he wants to force a baseline, right? forces him baseline. Jaylen Brown may have to come over and help all the way. Leaves Reggie Jackson open. Nobody's going to be able to close that out and be able to put the defense in rotation, possibly get back to where it's 5-on-5 and you're not scrambling. So there may be times where it's better to force somebody middle just to get towards your help again, so that you could recover better with the amount of players you have on one side. And that also gets into concepts of digging and whatnot. But if we're talking about on a matchup like this where Kawhi would be able to take White off the dribble, then it depends on whatever. It depends on whole scheme, game plan, the coach, all that stuff.
Smart to three. Yes.
Right quick. Most players would get to the spot, go off one, and try to jump right here. Get on that left foot and try to jump in midair. But what that will do sometimes is that it may not be so much in this situation because Morris is so far over. But if there's a player, like, say, closer up on Tatum and really reading this the whole time, they'll be able to read that and jump on that pass. They'll be able to read that. But since he gets on two, not only is he able to prevent a situation like that from happening, he's also able to throw a pass that's on target.
Smart to three.
Bucket.
Yes. Go out of bounds. He's got to be thinking of something else. Pass inside.
Seeing two at once, breaking down wall, and also seeing Williams over here on the seal, and placing this high enough so that Williams could grab it, only him, because he's so bouncy. He could even throw this higher, honestly. Batum almost got a finger on that and was able to tip that out, but great pass by JB. Hey, that off arm. That off arm will be your best friend when you drive into the rim. That off arm will be your best friend sometimes. Especially when you attacking away from that top foot. That off arm's going to be a lot. Because they're going to hand check. They're going to try to get that hand on that hip or just make some contact with it. Get it right off. It throws their momentum. Slows them down a little bit. Now you're able to give yourself a little more momentum too. So you keep going downhill. Off arm. But damn. Missed the offensive foul right there. Elbow to the jaws. That's tough. They missed a lot of elbows this game. They missed like 3 of them. Surprising. How low Jaylen Brown just got on that drive, this camera angle doesn't do it justice. Because think about it. These dudes are he's 6'7", 6'6", or whatever he is. Already hinged. Getting this low, like he's probably about 4 feet off, like where his head, he's probably like 4 or 5 feet off the ground. And look how low his body is. That's what's really gonna help you get that angle. That's what's gonna help you get that angle, because they won't be able to try to stand you up. You're gonna go straight down your line.
Chased all the way back to
JB, great rotation on that double team.
half court. Oh, that's a travel.
That's a great double team though. If somebody double teams, you got to be as if you're off the ball, you got to be as urgent as the 2 players in the double team, so that you can make your rotation and be able to take away any other pass.
Chased all the way back to half court. Oh, that's a travel.
And really, if you think about it though, I don't know why this came to my mind, but really, if you think about it though, refs are professional snitches. Referees are professional snitches. They tell on players every time they break the rules. They professional snitches, bro. They some professional snitches. But gotta get your money some way, somehow, I guess.
Don't have to foul. They don't have any timeouts left, so they're gonna go with the action.
Before we even get to this is not even about Jaylen Brown. It's not about Jaylen Brown. This is about Smart. So I want you to watch this weak side, right? Tatum got the mismatch with Kennard and Morris. Morris is gonna want to try to come over and try to make the off-ball switch. He sees Morris leave, but Kennard and Morris are not in sync. They're not. They should be moved. Kennard should have already left by now, because there should be a point where they're crossing each other, and Morris shouldn't get there, and Kennard should leave. Morris notices this, and this whole time they're trying to get to Tatum. So what does Morris do? Throw the skip cross court, because now Kennard's playing off of what, 30-some foot closeout. Horford's able to attack, get in the lane. Tatum floater, break. Shot again, break. He thought he was Luka. Jaylen Brown ends up getting the foul. help seal the game out too. But hey, that's the end of this video. Jaylen Brown hitting highlights. Make sure you subscribe, like, turn on notifications, hitting highlight videos dropping daily. Podcast reactions coming as well. If anything else you want me to react to, let me know. And make sure you subscribe, not only on YouTube, but on Twitch as well. Pat DOR 2 T's, and we out of here.